The term holy war evokes images of ancient battles, crusades, and religious fervor. It suggests a clash of civilizations, a fight for dominance between faiths. But can war ever be truly holy? Can violence ever be justified in the name of God? This essay explores the complex relationship between Christianity and Islam, focusing on historical and contemporary tensions to examine the question of inevitable religious conflict. The relationship between Christianity and Islam is fraught with historical baggage. Centuries of conflict, competition for resources, and theological disputes have created deep-seated mistrust and animosity. These historical tensions continue to influence contemporary relations, often manifesting in localized conflicts and geopolitical struggles. Examining specific cases, such as the tensions between Christians and Muslims in Nigeria and Egypt, reveals the interplay of religious, political, and social factors that contribute to conflict. These case studies highlight the role of historical grievances, political manipulation of religious sentiment, and socio-economic disparities in exacerbating tensions. Understanding the complexities of these relationships is crucial to moving beyond simplistic narratives of inevitable religious conflict and towards a future of peaceful coexistence. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, presents a stark example of religious tensions. The country is roughly divided between a predominantly Muslim north and a largely Christian south. This religious divide overlaps with ethnic and regional identities, creating a volatile mix susceptible to manipulation and violence. The 1991 riots in Kano and Bauchi serve as stark reminders of the potential for religious violence in Nigeria. Triggered by a permit granted to German evangelist Reinhard Bonnke to hold a crusade in Kano, the riots resulted in numerous deaths and widespread destruction. Bonnke, known for his large-scale crusades across Africa, was seen by some Muslims as provocative, particularly given his focus on conversion. The riots exposed the underlying tensions between Christians and Muslims in Nigeria, tensions further fueled by competition for resources, political power, and the perception of religious identity being under threat. The legacy of these events continues to cast a shadow over interfaith relations in Nigeria. Egypt, a country with a long and rich Christian history, offers another lens through which to examine contemporary interfaith dynamics. Coptic Christians, who make up a significant minority in Egypt, face unique challenges in navigating their faith amidst a predominantly Muslim society. The rise of Hamas, an Islamist group with a history of anti-Christian violence, has created a complex dilemma for Coptic Christians. While many sympathize with the plight of Palestinians, they also harbor fears about Hamas's ideology and its potential impact on their own safety and security in Egypt. This tension is further complicated by a generational divide within the Coptic community. Older generations, who have experienced firsthand the discrimination and violence directed at Christians, tend to hold deeply ingrained anti-Israel sentiments. Younger Copts, however, are more likely to be critical of Hamas and Islamist groups, recognizing the threat they pose to religious freedom and peaceful coexistence. Analyzing the situations in Nigeria and Egypt reveals a common thread: the inextricable link between religion, politics, and identity. In both cases, religious identity is often intertwined with political power struggles, socio-economic disparities, and historical grievances. Political leaders and groups often exploit religious sentiments to mobilize support, consolidate power, and silence dissent. This manipulation of faith for political ends can lead to the demonization of the other and create a climate of fear and mistrust, increasing the likelihood of conflict. Furthermore, socio-economic inequalities often exacerbate religious tensions. Competition for resources, access to education and healthcare, and employment opportunities can create resentment and fuel conflict along religious lines. Addressing these underlying inequalities is crucial to fostering peaceful coexistence. Provocation and perception can often fan the flames of discord. Specific events or actions perceived as provocative by one religious group can act as flashpoints, igniting existing tensions and leading to violence. Reinhard Bonnke's crusades in Nigeria, for instance, while intended as peaceful expressions of faith, were perceived by some Muslims as provocative attempts at proselytizing and a threat to their faith. Similarly, the actions of Hamas, particularly its attacks on Israeli civilians, have heightened fears amongst Coptic Christians in Egypt, who worry about potential repercussions and increased anti-Christian sentiment. It is essential to recognize the power of perception and the role of provocative actions in escalating tensions. Promoting interfaith dialogue, fostering mutual understanding, and avoiding actions that could be perceived as inflammatory or disrespectful are crucial steps towards mitigating conflict. The generational divide within the Coptic Christian community in Egypt highlights the evolving nature of religious identity and its relationship to political views. Younger generations, shaped by different experiences and exposed to a wider range of perspectives, often hold different views on faith and politics compared to their elders. This generational shift suggests that attitudes towards other faiths and the potential for conflict are not static. The younger generation's willingness to engage in dialogue, challenge traditional narratives, and seek common ground offers hope for a more peaceful future. Investing in youth interfaith initiatives, fostering critical thinking, and promoting education that emphasizes tolerance and understanding are essential to nurturing this potential for positive change. The question of whether holy war between Christianity and Islam is inevitable is complex and cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. While historical tensions, theological differences, and contemporary conflicts paint a bleak picture, it is crucial to avoid deterministic narratives that perpetuate fear and division. The cases of Nigeria and Egypt demonstrate that conflict is not preordained, but rather the result of a complex interplay of factors, many of which are rooted in political, social, and economic issues rather than solely religious differences. It is essential to recognize that within both Christianity and Islam, there exists a wide spectrum of interpretations, beliefs, and approaches to interfaith relations. Painting entire religions with a broad brushstroke ignores the diversity within these faiths and the potential for peaceful coexistence. Despite the challenges, there are glimmers of hope and examples of successful interfaith initiatives that offer a roadmap for building bridges and fostering peaceful coexistence. Interfaith dialogue platforms, grassroots peace-building efforts, and education programs that promote understanding and respect for different faiths play a crucial role in countering narratives of hatred and division. Promoting dialogue between religious leaders, scholars, and communities can help to dispel misconceptions, build trust, and foster mutual understanding. Grassroots initiatives, often led by women and youth, focus on building relationships across religious divides through shared projects, community service, and cultural exchange programs. Education also plays a vital role in shaping attitudes towards other faiths. By incorporating interfaith education into school curricula, promoting critical thinking skills, and teaching students about the history and diversity within and between religions, we can nurture a generation that is equipped to navigate religious difference with respect and understanding. The relationship between Christianity and Islam is complex and multifaceted, marked by both historical tensions and contemporary challenges. While the question of inevitable holy war remains a subject of debate, it is essential to avoid deterministic narratives and recognize the potential for peaceful coexistence. By acknowledging the historical context, understanding the political and social factors that contribute to conflict, and promoting interfaith dialogue, education, and grassroots peace-building initiatives, we can work towards a future where religious difference is not a source of division, but rather an opportunity for enrichment and understanding. The path towards peaceful coexistence requires a commitment from religious leaders, politicians, and individuals to challenge extremism, promote tolerance, and build bridges of understanding across religious divides. It is a challenging path, but one that offers hope for a future where faith, instead of fueling conflict, can be a force for peace and reconciliation.